Hello everyone, welcome to the second session of Understanding TiDB HTAP. It's Tony from PingCap. So today we'll be talking about a real-world case study. So a customer of PingCap, a real customer of PingCap, they use TiDB to build up a real-time insights system. Here is their scenario. So for this real customer of PingCap, they have a large risk control system where they use web crawler to gather all kinds of information from the internet, all the way including Twitter, including YouTube, including Facebook, including TikTok, etc., etc. After getting all these information, they will convert this information into structured data and then store it into a OLTP database, which is all good so far. After that, they will do ETL to move all this data from a OLTP database to a OLAP database. And then they will do some complicated machine learning tasks, more concretely, some natural language processing tasks, such as segmentation analysis. By doing this, they can get some insights of the company's investment, and then they will send investment suggestions to their customers. So their customers, they would like the 90th percentile of these insights to reach within 10 minutes. However, due to this very heavy ETL task, they now need more than 2 hours before they sending their customers these insights, which is not good. For example, if some really good news comes out for a company, such as the productivity is doubled due to some technical breakthrough. So in this case, it will be good to start buying the company's stock as soon as possible before everyone else. This customer scenario actually reminds me the OSSInsight project, where the OSSInsight system first grabbed all kinds of developers' information from the GitHub and then stored into the TiDB database. Let's now take a look at the OSSI website. As you can see on the OSSI website, we have now around 5 billion GitHub events, and there are many events come into the system in real time. And on the other hand, we can search for a specific developer or repo very quickly. For example, this is May. Yeah, and getting back. So we can also search for a repo very quickly. For example, PingCap. Yeah. So the first one is PingCap talent plan. You can go to that talent plan and get some real-time data. So in 2 cases I showed you just now, the first one was to insert new records into database, and the second one is to find a specific developer or a repo. These are all actually OLTP queries, and TiDB uses the index on TiKV to quickly respond to OLTP queries. Let's now go to the backend of the OSSI website to take a look. Okay, so now I've logged into the backend database, which is TiDB of the OSSInsight. So the first query I'm going to execute is select repo ID repo name from GitHub events, where repo name equals PingCap. So GitHub events is the giant table I've showed you just now with almost 5 billion records. Let's run this query. As you can see, we find the results fairly quickly. Now what I'm going to do is to take a look at the execution plan of this query. So as you can see here, this query uses a index. It uses index and goes to the TiKV. Okay, let's now get back to the OSSI website to take a look. In fact, either in our previous risk control system case or in this OSSI website, we have lots of analytical requirements. So for example, within the OSSI website, we have open source database ranking, where we can see all the ranks of the database and the year-to-year ranking of all the open source database. We also have a popular trends tab, where the real-time events are adding into this bar chart in real time. As you can see, we are not experiencing any delay. It seems like there is no ETL process. We didn't feel the timing which is usually needed for the ETL system at all. Okay, here we are at the backend database again. So I'm now going to run select const star from GitHub events. Here we go. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run the select const star from GitHub events again. So the reason for doing that is by doing this, I can show you that the data in TiFlash or as in the backend database of OSSInsight is really updating in real time. So here we go. Okay. As you can see now, the number has been updated. It is larger than previous. This is because OSSInsight actually does not use traditional solutions where there is a OLTP database and then there is another OLAP database and we do complicated ETL between. Instead, OSSInsight use the TiDB. So TiDB is a single database which has the HTAP capability. It can deal with OLTP and OLAP at the same time. So TiDB has two storage engines. One is TiKV, which is raw store, and another TiFlash, which is a column store. So the raw store, like TiKV, can be used to deal with the OLTP workloads, while the TiFlash is used to deal with the OLAP workloads. And you don't have to decide where to put your data either in TiKV or TiFlash. Instead, there are just different copies of the same data, and we used Raft protocol to make strong consistency between the copies of the data. Okay, let's now get back to the terminal. So this time I'm going to show you the execution plan of the select count star. So I'm going to show you that this query, this analytical query, will be directed to TiFlash, which is a column store. Okay, so we are now at the backend database of the OSSInsight, which is TiDB. So what I'm going to show you is the execution plan of this analytical query, which is select count star from GitHub events. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this analytical query is directed to TiFlash, which is a column store. This is exactly what we are expecting. To conclude, OSSInsight use TiDB as a backend database, which has the HTAP capability. It can deal with the OLTP queries and OLAP queries at the same time and save you a huge amount of time from the ETL. Getting back to the real customer I mentioned at the beginning, so it also uses TiDB as a backend database now. So TiDB helped this customer to save huge amount of time in his risk control system by eliminating the needs of doing ETL. If you want to learn more, scan this barcode and then you can get access to more PinCap training and certification resources.